Welcome to part 4 in this Best of Kai Greene series. Today's comparison features the 2011 New York Pro Kai Greene versus the 2011 Mr. Olympia version. Do not be fooled by this front double bicep pose, as the New York Pro version looks terrible here. This is going to be a good battle. I've seen all the poses and he looks darn good in all of the other ones, but this front double bicep, very distended waistline, and the Mr. Olympia version looks superb. This is one of the best front double biceps I've ever seen. Of course, he won the New York Pro, and I believe he placed third. Yes, he placed third, right under Jay Cutler in the 2011 Mr. Olympia version. 1-0, Mr. Olympia. And you might just as well keep that marker out and notch another point for the Mr. Olympia version. Look at the difference of his lat region. He is so filled out in the Mr. Olympia. The New York Pro, I will say, his pecs are huge and full, like two big Swedish meatballs, or balloons, whatever. No, not Swedish meatballs. I take that back. But either way, he is getting a point in the Mr. Olympia version. This looks like a blowout so far, but I promise you this New York Pro version has some good poses. Let's have a look at the backs, shall we? And this is what I was talking about. Look at this back region of this New York Pro version. Takes a point here, in my opinion, for sure. There's a hard graininess about him. Gets an advantage in the legs, I believe, the glutes as well, and as far as the lats are concerned, definitely, as well as the traps. The biceps themselves are better in the Mr. Olympia version, and it is a rear double bicep pose, but I focus more on the back in this shot. If everything is equal or even close, I do, of course, award the man with the better biceps. But this is the same man, after all. Anyway. A point goes to the New York Pro version, 2-1, Mr. Olympia. I believe the New York Pro version is better in this rear lat spread as well. He hits this pose one of two ways. He holds his delts down, like in the New York Pro. It displays those traps much better. And then he did it the other way. He brings his delts way up high, and that's what he's stuck with over the years, his most recent versions. I like the other way, personally. He needs those traps to be displayed more. But more than that, his legs are better in this comparison here. And one other muscle that is featured very prominently for this New York Pro version is his triceps, dwarfing that of the Mr. Olympia 2011 version. Gets an easy point here in the rear lat spread. New York Pro ties things up. This is turning out to be a nice little matchup after all. Excellent comparison in the side chest. Two good versions of this pose. No bubble gut, you notice that. Nice trim waistlines in each. A little bit bigger, I believe the display makes his waistline look a little bit bigger in the Mr. Olympia version, but that really displays his chest a whole lot better. If you'll notice, his pecs look better in that version. Look at those triceps once again in the New York Pro. Massive set. The legs, they actually look a little bit better, I think, in the Mr. Olympia version. Those tie-ins of those quads, and even in the hamstrings. Glutes goes to New York Pro. Good little battle, like I said, but at the end of the day, Mr. Olympia, gets the point. Look at the delts, also an advantage in the delts. It's a little unclear to say for sure who is better in this most muscular, as it is not the exact pose. So we actually have a most muscular as well. Just food for thought here. I would choose the Mr. Olympia version in this comparison if it was a straight up matchup. But we do have this one here, like I said, and I must say, Kai Greene, the crab pose, he should stay away from it for sure. But these two, whatever he did this year, 2011, he looks awesome. He looks phenomenal. This is a good pose for him. It's just a gosh darn shame that he did not continue to improve on this version of the most muscular. Having said that, I am much more impressed with the New York Pro version. He has that, once again, I'll say it, that wow factor. Look how impressive he is. Those triceps really fill out the silhouette of this pose. Not to mention, he has the advantage in the pecs as well. On my score sheets, it is pretty much tied. But here's the thing. There was this pose here, and it is in my firm belief that this was the most dominant victory in all of the comparisons, in the favor of the Mr. Olympia version, of course. And I do place a great deal of emphasis on who did receive the most dominant victory in the comparisons, especially if it is a tie game. So there you have it. 2011 Mr. Olympia, Kai Greene, advances on.
Squirt.
Of course, that version will eventually face the 2010 Grand Prix Australia, but that's for the second round of action. Let's move on over to the other side of the brackets. 2011 Shiru Classic, Kai Greene versus that 2012 Mr. Olympia. That's a good version, if I am not mistaken, for sure. So that is one we can all look forward to. I hope you enjoyed today's matchup, and ladies and gentlemen, it helps me greatly when you click that subscribe button. And if you don't mind, go ahead and click it right now, and you can increase my subscriber number. I am aiming for 1,000, and it helps me greatly, each and every one of you. So thank you very much for the ones that did click that button, and for the ones that haven't, well, I appreciate your views anyway. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Have a good day.